How to rebuild clarity, discipline without fake positivity or willpower alone. Now, man, if you find yourself overthinking every decision from your career to your workout to your nutrition to your planning, and you still feel like you're failing to follow through, right? You're not weak. You're just out of the systems, and the systems are causing you to be out of alignment. Now, if you're second guessing yourself with every decision, it's not weakness, it's a lack of system, which we're going to build and go over and clarify in this training. Now, confidence isn't found, it is built. It is built through consistent action. Now, that's what I want you to remember. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you're silently ending self trust, and self trust is highly connected to the amount of confidence that you're able to build. Now, your voice, your posture don't match the man that you want to be. Okay, so if you feel like you're not walking with the confidence, that you're not where you want to be, then it's because your confidence, your clarity, and your discipline is not where you want it to be. Now, overthinking kills action, and most men never realize it until it's too late. I don't want you to be in the same boat where you're sitting on decisions for years on end, and it gets to a point where you completely get rid of the ideas, you get rid of the desires, the things that you want to accomplish, and you pretend that it's not a big deal. But it is a big deal because you're not at the place you want to be at. You're not in shape. You're not confident. You're not fitting into the clothes you want to fit into. And you're not being the man that you want to be. Now, discipline isn't willpower, okay? It's identity in motion. And when we can get our identity in motion, that's when we can be consistent. And that comes down to clarity. Now, most men drift because they have no aim, they have no target, and they have no desire that is connected with that target. They'll say that they just want to lose a few pounds, but what does it actually mean? That's not going to give you the kick up the arse that you need. Now, anxiety and self-doubt are signs that the system is broken, not that you're weak. If you're having this on a regular basis, you're doubting yourself all the time, you're feeling anxiety, it is a sign that something needs to change. It doesn't mean you're necessarily a weak person. It means you need to change to feel the way that you want to feel. Like there's something going on that we have to make the change. Now, every decision that you avoid chips away at your confidence, right? Every decision that you avoid that you know that is going to uplift your game, and you're avoiding this constantly, you're neglecting your nutrition, you're missing sessions, you're letting people disrespect you. Every time you let this happen, you lose confidence. And you cannot fake discipline, but you can rebuild it with the right framework. Now, in today's training, that's what we are going to be speaking on. Okay, so rebuild your clarity and discipline without fake positivity or willpower alone. Now, let's jump into this. Now, the real problem: men don't actually lack discipline. Okay, if they did, they wouldn't show up to work, pay the bills, or take care of responsibilities. Right now, you're disciplined in some areas of your life. We want to be able to grab that discipline and put it into your fitness regime and the way that you conduct yourself and show up to life. Now, what you really lack is clarity, right? Guys will wake up not fully sure what they're doing, what actually matters from that day, or what the right decisions are to take, okay? That's why you overthink. That's why you second guess yourself, and that's why you say, I'll do it later. But later never comes. And for you to get in shape, it's going to require a decision. It's going to require the right understanding, which we're going to speak on in this training. Excuse me, right? No structure, right? Every decision feels heavy. When there's no structure in your life, every decision feels heavy. You'll say to yourself, should I train today or rest? Should I eat better or grab something quick? Should I speak up or stay quiet? So you hesitate. And every time you hesitate, guess what happens? You break the fucking promises to yourself. Something happens quietly. You trust yourself less over time. You stop backing your own word and you become unsure and you shrink. And this can be seen on your demeanor, how you think about yourself, your habits, your girlfriend, your wife, your kids can pick up on it, and you pick up on it as well. This is why your confidence fades, okay? Men who look disciplined aren't stronger, they just have less time to think as much, okay? Because they're out taking action and they're thinking more clearly on the things that they're doing. Their systems make decisions for them, and that's what we want to build here today. Now, let's get started. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you how to rebuild your clarity, your discipline without fake positivity, hype, or relying on your willpower enough, because that's not enough, okay? Not by forcing yourself to be motivated, not by pretending to be confident, but by building a framework that makes follow through automatic, even on your worst days. Now, why do men stay stuck in the first place? Now, I've seen it firsthand, right? I've coached men, lot of men over the past 5 years, and I've came to my own realization on my own journey from my own experience as well. Now, many of my clients, right, come to me frustrated, right, and doubting themselves. They're training, but they're not really got that direction, or they have trained in the past, right, but they've never really gave it the thought, the effort, and intention it needs, or they've just not trained before, but they're looking to get into it, right? They maybe play some sports, but it's just not happening. Okay, now that's the exact same with one of my clients, Alan. Okay, he was playing his sports that he enjoys, right? He's been doing this for many years at the time he came to me, but he was sick and tired of losing to younger men. And he was telling himself that it's just the age that he can't play anymore, that he's not going to be able to be at his best, right? And he was constantly rehearsing this belief, this thought pattern over and over and over again. Now, this was affecting his game. It was affecting his routine. It was affecting his structure. It was affecting the intensity in his training sessions as well. Okay. Now, he wasn't lazy and he wasn't too old, but he had no systems that supported where he was and the goals that he wanted to try and reach. He lost sight of his goal. He lost sight of what he wanted to do. So every week felt different. Nutrition was confusing. Nutrition was good on some days, but it was all over the place. Training had no purpose. Every small decision he made, right, that was not building him up towards his goals, it was chipping away at his self confidence. And that affected again his sports and his performance. Now, what changed wasn't effort, it was alignment. And that's what I want you to understand here today. Once Alan changed his routines with the man he wanted to be, he was strong and capable and also living an example and becoming a role model for his son. He was more disciplined and he stopped being in a fight with himself. Didn't push harder, he trained with more purpose and he operated with a higher level of purpose. That's what happens when identity is backed by systems, okay? Now, what actually works? You don't need pep talks, you don't need fucking fake confidence, you need a framework. That's what I'm going to be speaking on in the next few slides. When identity, values, and daily actions line up, discipline stops being a fight. Clarity replaces confusion and action replaces overthinking. Discipline becomes something you do, not something you force. And the key word there is becoming an automatic way of living. Now the system. That's why we're here today. Now, most men react to life all day long and then wonder why they feel scattered, low in energy, not making progress, not losing weight, not performing better. Men are stuck in a mental fog and overthink small decisions and break promises to themselves. Now, inside the Leader 365, right, we fix this with our discipline loop. It's a simple structure that removes guesswork from decisions to build self trust daily. When the system is right, men, right, it is right. Discipline stops relying on willpower and it becomes more predictable. Now, the first part of the system is values alignment. Decide who you are becoming, right? This is the foundation of it all. Decisions become easier when identity is clear. I cannot tell you how many guys get this wrong. They're trying to chase the same goals that they were when they're fucking 15 or 20, right? But you're now nearly 30 or you're 30 plus to now. You need to adapt. You need to establish what the fuck you want out of life, how you want to show up to life, and the things that you want to achieve and the things that you want to be. Build this. Because if you don't build this, you're not going to have the inspiration that you need. But don't put restrictions on yourself. If you want to fucking run a marathon or run a PB with your 10K or hit a certain scale in the weight, but build a lifestyle around it, then decide to do it because you know how good it will feel to achieve those things. You get clear on the type of man you're becoming, right? Not vague goals, but standards. For example, I'm a disciplined man, right? I'm a present father. I take care of my body, right? And you build underneath these specific goals. What does that look like? How do you show up to life, right? What levels of confidence do you have? What does routine look like? All these have to be built, okay? Once this is clear, decisions stop being emotional. You don't debate whether you train or eat better or show up. You ask, what would the disciplined man do here? I.e., the highest level on the outcome you're trying to achieve. Confusion drops, overthinking fades, and men stop feeling pulled in a 10 set direction and start acting with certainty. The key word there is certainty, okay? They feel grounded, calm, and decisive because their identity leads, not their mood, right? You're not leading by your mood, you're leading by your identity. Now, the second one, team, right, is daily wins. One small promise, right, kept daily rebuilds confidence faster than motivation ever could. Each day you make one small non-negotiable promise. Train for 30 minutes, hit your protein target, go for a walk, write your plan. You keep it no matter what. It's not a big, huge task or action step. It's a small win that builds that momentum, that builds that self-trust. Okay? You don't negotiate with it. Self-trust comes, right? It comes back fast. Confidence stops being something that you hope to feel. It becomes something that you earn. Confidence is earned. Men start standing taller, right? You start speaking more clearly. You start backing yourself again because you're no longer lying to yourself. You believe in who you are. And that's what this is all about. Now, the last one, right, is mindset triggers. Morning and evening cues that remind you who you are and what matters. We need to make sure we have this in the forefront of our mind because there's so many distractions that are going to try and pull you off center. Simple cues in the morning and evening, a question, a phrase, a short reflection that reset your focus. Morning, for example, what's one action that moves me forward today? And go out and do it, go out and take it, right? Stop neglecting the gym. Get the gym membership, get into the gym, train. Start prepping your food. Start having the conversations that you need to have. Now, in the evening, you ask yourself, did your actions match your standards? If they didn't, ask why. Reevaluate and then have a better day tomorrow. They stop blending together when you're doing this, right? Men become intentional instead of reactive. Anxiety drops, discipline stabilizes, and progress becomes more predictable because your mind is being trained daily. Okay? You're training your body, you're training your mind, and you're training for life. Okay? And you're not left to drift. And that is the silent killer of men today, is the drift. Okay? Now, the cost of not fixing this and not taking information that I spoke on today, every day will stay unclear. You'll become indecisive, and this becomes more of a habit. Confidence erodes quietly, discipline feels further away, and the life that you want will never be obtained. But clarity can be rebuilt, discipline can be restored. If you're ready to stop drifting and start leading yourself again, book a call myself. Inside this call, we'll sit down, I'll get to understand you, I'll get to know you, understand what you want to accomplish, and we will show you how we can make that happen. We'll show you how we can make that happen and how to build the ideal life, the ideal lifestyle, and accomplish the fucking goals that you want to accomplish. Right? We'll identify what's breaking your clarity and build a system that finally sticks. Now, if you have any questions, mate, let me know. Now, we help men 30 plus lose up to 10 kg, get leaner, get stronger, improve their running performance, feel fucking fantastic. But not only that, build self discipline, mental clarity and confidence, and also daily execution. Now, you might look back in your 20s and your 20s did not deliver, right? That does not mean you cannot build the life that you want now. What you didn't build then, you can build now. 30, 40, 50, 60, fucking 70 years old. You've got more to give, but you have to see it. That's why we built our Leader 365 program. Any questions, let me know, and I'll see you in the next episode.